Hey everyone, welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in pop culture. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Carrie Justin.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about how male birth control may soon be a thing, a rookie mistake from a recent business school grad, and the best way to deal with a friend whose social media personality is just too much. But first, we have some food at the table provided by Red Eye Grill. Created by legendary restaurateur Shelley Fireman, Red Eye Grill has been dining staple in Midtown Manhattan for over 25 years now. For the first time, they are now serving breakfast every weekday morning starting at 7:30 a.m. and brunch on the weekends. God bless.
Guys, you don't understand.
These
pancakes look
These are some very fluffy pancakes.
We were just saying they are
fluffy.
thick.
And I'm gonna dig into.
I was gonna say like, this is not gonna be cute, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it.
sorry you guys to watch us eat.
This is like an amazing yogurt with just fruit
Wait,
and
you don't? So
bananas.
pancakes are my favorite thing in the entire world, and usually I would.
Oh
say,
my
like,
God.
IHOP is
The
my
blueberry
favorite
one?
restaurant, but this one,
Pancakes are my favorite as well.
really?
Some people are waffle people. Are you a waffle person, Brittany?
I'm more of a pancake person.
You are. What about, is anyone a waffle person at the table?
I like both.
I like whatever people
I
are
have
making.
phases between like pancakes, waffles, and French toast.
Okay.
But I'm like way more swavery.
I respect that. Look at this avocado toast too.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I know, we got a lot going on.
Well, and I was just talking to them in the back, and they also make all of these gluten-free as well in their restaurant, which I
Oh, that's
love
great.
because that's a new diet of mine, unfortunately. But I love when you can go somewhere and still eat really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, guys, continuing to enjoy, NBC has announced new classes for their Female Forward initiative and the Emerging Director program. The network plans to increase representation of both female and ethnically diverse directors by creating change makers in the industry.
Yeah.
Wow, it's 2019. I'm glad we have women. We're making an effort for her female directors.
Isn't it so crazy? This is only like one of a few of their kind, but it's such a big deal because in LA, like when producers are packaging shows with their agents and trying to find writers and directors, it all comes down to credits and how much experience that director has. And it especially comes important because TV is not really a director's medium except when they film a pilot. When the director films that pilot, they're kind of setting the tone for the rest of the show. So what this offers is these women and diverse people to get the credit to then eventually become that pilot director, that big-time director. So it's a really big deal. I'm glad NBC's doing this.
Yeah, I think people have like an issue sometimes when there are these programs set up for certain people to give them these opportunities. But like you said, it's all, you have to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
So like, I'm sure that there are some people who are like, oh, do we really need this program to like just let in the, you know, but women need credits. So
You absolutely do. And you look at other people dealing with this issue in their own ways, like Ava DuVernay on her show Queen Sugar has hired exclusively female directors for 4 entire seasons, which is so unprecedented. But again, it's like you need to give these people an opportunity to build their credits and to show their work. And a lot of women haven't been, and people of color have not been given an opportunity.
And we talked about this before. Ryan Murphy's one also, like Ava DuVernay, has done the same thing, making an effort of being 50% of his directors will be women, people of color, or LGBTQIA people. So those are creators. So I think that's really important. But it comes down to the networks who really just want to, their bottom line is to make money. So when they're investing in these talent, I think it just means something because they're the gatekeepers of Hollywood. So it's when they do this, it means a big thing.
I have to say, Karen Horn, who's in that photo, she's the SVP of programming at NBC, and I actually just saw her at the Black Film Festival this summer in Miami, and they have a writers program as well that's helping to bring in different diverse voices to the network, and she's somebody who I think is really helping NBC see the importance of that. So whether it's directors or writers all across the board, I think NBC is being really conscious of like telling different stories and employing different voices to tell those stories.
Yeah, shout out to Karen Horn, who I've met like a handful of times and is like awesome.
She's so dope.
Yeah.
When you were Paige?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Who's actually amazing. So this segment is dedicated to you, Karen.
Yeah, Karen is dope. I went to a writing session with her and I like had the best notes ever. She gives such good advice and she's really looking at the future for sure of the industry.
Though there's some executives that are just so absolutely incredible. I mean, I think some network executives get a really bad rep because the way a lot of broadcast shows work that people find pretty mundane or basic, but then you meet some like Karen who are just these exceptionally creative, smart people who are helping like nurture young talent. Like, it's so cool meeting people like that. When I lived in LA, I loved finding those people. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, like exactly what you're saying, nurturing young talent, because I feel like execs, you don't think of them as giving those opportunities to other people.
Right.
So when you find somebody in a position of power like this, that's like, come on, like,
Right.
let me take you under my wing. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have to say too, I've discovered a lot of female directors I really love lately.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're just getting to see more of their work. One being Pippa Bianco. She directed this movie Cher that's on HBO, but she also directed an episode of Euphoria. And I was binging it. At the end of it, I looked at this episode I was really taken by, and Pippa was the director of it. And I was
Which episode?
It was like episode 5 or 4. I'd have to
Right.
show it to you, but
Okay.
it was just everything felt more emotional, more connected in a way. It just seemed like I was a little more involved with like Ruth's story, and it was Pippa. Like,
Yeah, I would just
directing.
love to see like everybody's reactions to whatever these women are creating. And so we can, you know, prove some people wrong.
Yeah.
But speaking of men and women issues, a new Cosmo article dives into the myth of male birth control and why, despite seeing many headlines about male contraceptive drugs for years, we still haven't had any progress. Yeah, this one is interesting, male birth
Yeah.
control.
Here's the thing.
Tell us.
Here's the
Tell us,
thing.
Allie.
I think, you know, if there was a male birth control, that would be awesome. Obviously, that would take a lot of pressure off of like women who have horrible side effects. You know, often, sometimes, death is
Yeah.
a side effect for female birth control.
That's true.
No, seriously.
That's true.
Okay, so like,
God bless.
you know, side effects for women are extreme, really intense. However, as a woman, would you trust a man
Yeah,
who's on male birth control? Because I sure as hell would not.
I wouldn't.
If a guy told me he was on birth control,
He was like, don't
that would
worry
not
about it.
that would not ease my worries. At the end of the day, women have more skin in this game
Yes.
than men. We have to carry babies.
That's
I
good.
wouldn't trust a man saying he's on birth control.
And that's a great, fair counter argument to this whole thing that people, apparently majority of men and women surveyed want it, but that's exactly it, because women have fought so hard and continue to fight for
Yeah.
reproductive rights. So the possibility of giving that up to men is, I could be very detrimental to the cause. So I think on one hand, men should share in the responsibility, but I think as well I do not want that power, that agency women have over their own reproductive health to be then given to men.
Right.
Yeah, and I believe that these two things can exist together.
Yeah.
And it's about sharing the responsibility, because I do think men just assume that it's easy for women to be on birth control.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't understand it. And it's like, why don't you just take it? But a lot of women have really, really negative effects. So I think if you're in a partnership where maybe it's a committed situation and one of you needs to be taking precautions and the woman can't, I would love for men to have the option.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say,
Right.
even if it happens or doesn't happen, I just like the conversation, because like you're saying,
Yeah.
it like men understand what's going on. They were talking about how guys don't want birth control because of the side effects, which,
Yeah.
like we said, like weight gain, acne, mood swings,
Low sex drive.
like things like that. And it's like, hello, we've been dealing with this for fucking forever.
But don't you gotta love that, because that's just the underlying theme of just like there's life. If
Yeah.
men had to suffer the way women did,
Yes.
all these things would be solved,
Yeah.
because it would just be quick, because
And these
men
guys
have
are
ruled
like
everything.
freaking
And
out
then are
about
like,
these
I'm
side
bloated.
effects.
This pill's not gonna
know.
work. And it's like, I'm bloated 3 weeks out of every month.
Yes.
Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, you might be on birth control, but you're still not
Right,
getting
like,
that time
it's
of the
still
month.
so
I
hard
remember
for
I
women.
once
Sit
got this
down.
terrible cramp unrelated, and my friend said, imagine that cramp 10 times
Yes.
worse, and
Yeah.
it happens every month. And I was like, I am
Yeah.
so sorry, because I am whining like a little bitch
Yeah.
at my desk crying, and like, how do you guys come to work?
yeah,
like
we're superheroes.
I agree with that. That's why I think
really
women
are.
should run the world.
are.
I agree with
We're
that.
really amazing.
Women are.
Don't you love those videos where they hook the men up to the device that gives them like pregnancy
Oh my
cramps,
God.
and they're like losing their
Or
mind?
they just carry the weight.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, with this conversation, it's the same exact thing. They're not going to experience everything we experience. If they can just get some of the shit that we go through.
right.
But and also count. The
I
funny,
agree.
funny thing why
Bad.
some men oppose this is because I think, at least in the past, the test trials they've done is that lowering testosterone levels, right?
Yeah.
Decreasing-
Lowering sperm count.
Sperm count.
So giving the one example, they would give you an injection of testosterone once a week, and it lowers your sperm count. But they found that it was a permanent lowering
Yeah.
of sperm count,
And men-
which is not what we want.
But and men, that's like that fucks with guys' heads. That they don't want their sperm being tampered with or whatever.
Well, they
Men are
won't make
weird.
babies
But
though.
really, like, what does it matter?
What does it matter? I mean, how about can we put birth control in pancakes? Because that would be fun.
Because then everybody would be.
I would be, yeah.
Wow, I feel so weird about these pancakes now.
She's like, so now I won't eat them. Yeah. But the one thing I also was thinking about, which I don't know much about at all, but like healthcare also, because it's such a big issue with women and birth control pills and whatever. And so I just am curious how the industry would respond to male contraceptives.
If it was a male thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's interesting.
They'd be like handing it out for free, like candy.
Oh, Congress would pass a law probably.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
All the Republicans would be like, oh, this is free now. Birth control is free for everyone.
Yeah. And we're sitting here like,
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah.
Men could also just get better at using condoms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a whole nother conversation. There's so much pressure for young women from men to not use condoms. And they're like pretty persistent about it.
Yeah.
And it was like, we need to just change our conversation around this in general. Like men need to take responsibility for their sexual health as well.
Right, and that's what they're not saying. 'Cause
Yeah.
Men just don't want to have sex with condoms.
Right.
A lot of them. Not
Right.
saying all of
No,
them,
a
but
lot
that's
of
the big
them
thing.
don't.
And even though you can still get STIs from not wearing condoms, so that's why you should wear them as well. But that's the underlying argument. They just want to have sex without condoms, and in their head to know, oh, I'm taking this, oh, we're definitely gonna get pregnant.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
well, we'll see what happens.
It's just so annoying.
It is so
Yeah, it's annoying.
so
It's just like, shut up.
stop whining,
I agree,
boys.
guys. Well, guys, a 23-year-old business school grad named Bill Tsai is making history after being charged for insider trading less than 15 months after graduating from college. Of course, this has not stopped the internet from making him the subject of memes.
Wow.
This is interesting. He was a student body president at Stern, straight-laced guy who once said, you know, when you're a student body president, the spotlight's on you. So wow, he really had the spotlight of the world on him, you know, at Stern, because Stern's the center of the universe. But a year out, he commits a crime.
The thing is,
wasted
I
no time.
can believe it because
Right.
everyone is such a liar and they're so delusional. And if you think they're not, you're delusional.
Right.
And all of these Stern kids are liars.
Will you
Right.
All
break
of
down
these
what he
NYU
did?
kids are liars. Everyone's a liar.
We're liars.
Seriously. Like, this is so apt.
Right.
That some NYU Stern kid thinks he's so slick and he's so slick that he's lecturing other kids about what to do. And it's not like something changed in the 10 months since he graduated. Nothing changed.
This was part of the plan.
He's just cocky and delusional and thinks he'll get away with it, and you didn't.
Now he might go to prison.
And now he might go to
Greed
prison. And it's
is
just like,
good.
wake up. And even in prison, he probably won't have a wake-up call. This is everyone.
Well, one of
This
you
is
break down
everyone.
what he did really quick.
Please.
What? Go
So
ahead.
he,
We're like waiting
I
for
will. I
somebody.
thought
Yeah, I was like,
he
what
was
if you said-
working at a company, and he found out that the company he was working at was going to acquire another company. He purchased stock in the company that they were going to acquire. He didn't buy a lot. I think he made like $100,000 off of this.
He had $98,000 in profits. He bought it for what? 100? Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, so he made
roughly.
like $100 grand, which like that's not, if you're gonna insider trade, like insider trade.
That's what I'm
buddy.
saying.
But like,
Yeah.
but what I'm thinking is I'm thinking it was like, he was like, no, I'm not gonna get caught. Who's gonna catch me? I'm Bill Tsai. And he bought like a little amount and his plan was like, I could keep doing this. This is sustainable. And it's like, wake up guys. Like we're living in like we're in the upside down right now.
So to go agree with you on that, he had a secret account the whole time. He did not tell the company he was working for. So this was a long-term game.
Yeah.
He thought, I'm Bill Tsai. I'm gonna play the long game in this, make $100 grand here and there, and I'm only 23 years old. Meanwhile, you're arrested now, Bill. You're in prison.
Do you think he watched Wolf of Wall Street and was like, yeah, I could do this.
He got the wrong
I
story.
could do this, Leo.
Honestly, I don't want to out you, but you were saying the same thing downstairs. It's kind of impressive when people do this. Like, I mean, dude's gonna go to jail, like whatever. I'm not even smart enough to do insider trading. I don't know, like whatever. So if he got away with it for 5 seconds, good for
Well,
him.
I was gonna say he wasn't smart enough to do insider
I
trading.
know.
Also,
They caught him like right away. Like,
Honestly, Stern's probably like disappointed.
So
like,
mad.
dude,
Well,
I taught you how to do this like a totally different way.
oh, they're mad the wrong other way. Like, we had a class at insider trading,
he
man.
told you.
Stern actually prides themselves on being one of the first business schools to make ethics a mandatory part of the curriculum. And a lot of business schools have like needed to introduce that in the last 5 years because previously business schools were like, just do whatever you gotta do to make the money. You know, but like, I mean, that's obviously not verbatim the curriculum. But it's kind of interesting to think about. At the end of the day, you're Bill Tsai, you're not Bill Nye.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
Bill.
We also
Bill.
just have to talk about the memes
Bill
part because I
Side,
just
the
love,
insider guy.
I just love how now for like people our age and whatever, like the way to get him is to make these memes.
Right.
Like that is the worst. Like this guy is probably going to jail and he probably does not
this is my
care.
joke.
It's
Yeah.
just humiliating that there are memes made of him.
Yeah.
Or now is he immortalized? I mean, maybe this is
or
what he
honestly,
wanted.
Yeah, I mean, the
Or
spotlight
they're
is
gonna-
on him. It continues to be on
The
him.
spotlight, I'm telling you, that quote is like any student body president who says that, like the spotlight's on me, you gotta watch what you do. First of all, LOL, he was an inside trader. But two, it's like, okay, come on, classic Sterny here. Like, get over yourself.
Sterny.
As a Steinhardt
the
guy, it
spotlight's
was
on
like,
who?
he would say that as student body president Stern, the spotlight was on me, which is the classic
Oh.
Stern thing. I went to Steinhardt, don't give a shit about us. Like,
Right.
we were studying communications, and like, we were the bastard child of NYU, basically.
Yeah, I'm glad
so-
you have that awareness.
Yeah, I am. But I minored in Stern and Tisch. Anyway, Allie and I know. We went to NYU.
Do you think they'll make an example of him though? I think they will. I think he'll end up going to jail.
Oh my God.
I mean, they're gonna have to.
sad.
talk
I don't
about it.
understand, but
Everybody
what
else
are
is.
they? There's plenty of people who insider trading. They're not making an example for insider trading.
Well, just because like this young guy coming in for like I think they have to show kids like you can't do
Oh,
Yeah.
but I think
Well,
this is getting attention because he just graduated and was student body president, not because it's like
Oh.
this kid.
I think it's because he just graduated and he's young and this was like
Yeah.
the first thing he did and it
You're
was a
saying similar
major
things, yeah.
screw up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we agree. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
Totally
Yeah.
do.
Well, good luck, Bill.
Good luck, Bill.
Like you
I'm
got an
curious to
uphill
see what
battle
happens.
ahead of you.
We're gonna by next week we're having Bill speak from prison on the show. So
We're gonna
stay
Skype
touch.
him in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And now it's time for some candid coffee. Each week we will answer a question that comes from you, our viewers. The question can be about anything. If you want us to answer something, tweet us at BillBrunch. Now let's get candid. Here's the question of the week.
It was so candid how you said that.
Thank you. I was working
It felt
on that.
comfortable and natural.
Okay. Billy from Wichita, Kansas.
What up, Billy?
No place like home. in
Billy,
Kansas,
Bill
right?
Side.
Bill Side.
Oh, but it's Bill from prison. Oh my God, Bill. If you went out to brunch with your first crush, what would you talk about?
For your first crush, what a dumb question, Bill Lee.
Wow.
He's still, like, has he moved past his first crush?
Well, we're talking about like real first crush
First
or like.
crush, wasn't your first crush when you were like 3?
No.
No,
I'm
I know my
counting
first
like
crush.
real like middle school first crush.
Okay.
Okay.
Where I was
Elementary
like
school.
writing our names together and thinking of our future.
I had a
Oh my
boyfriend
God.
from 1st to 5th grade.
Let's
Did you
hear it.
really?
It was on
First
and
to
off, but
fifth?
like, yeah. So this is probably.
Did you say it was really on and off?
Yeah.
It was hard.
Well,
Because it was like
what would
sometimes
cause you
we
guys
like
to
wanted
break
to
up?
like hold hands and like other times. So, oh my gosh, it was 5th grade. We had this thing called the Strawberry Festival. So like it's like a carnival basically at all of the elementary schools.
Totally.
And in 5th grade, like things are getting really serious. So people ask somebody else, like some people. And obviously I was one of those that got asked.
Wow.
And so he asked me in the like bus lines.
Yeah.
One of my friends said yes for
Which,
me.
by the way, the bus signs in middle school is sort of like a bar casual environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
No,
the
yeah,
bus line, it's like, oh, what's your bus? Like,
Yes.
let's hang. Let's just
Thank
have
you
a-
for setting the scene.
quick
What
Top
time
notch.
is it?
Yeah.
Understood.
And one of my friends said yes for me, and then I guess like within the next few days, I was like a little anxious about it. I was like, I don't know if I want to go to the Strawberry Festival with him. I recently had a phone, 5th grade. Yes, it happened.
Wow.
And so I like texted him saying that it wasn't gonna work out, and then my parents told me that all of my texts popped up on the phone bill, and I wasn't allowed to date. So I literally like confessed everything. I was like, Mac asked me to the Strawberry Festival, and I said no, and blah, blah, blah. So you'll see that text, but like, I'm not dating him. Like, I'm not interested, whatever.
That
And my
is
parents were like
such
sick.
Wow.
A nice confession. When I was in 5th
Yeah.
grade, my parents found bottles of OxyContin in my underwear drawer, and I had to confess to that. So that sounds a lot nicer than what I was doing.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
are you
Okay.
Right? Just keep going with that.
Yeah, well, that's the way, Allie. We're not
I
sure.
was like, I'm
We're
not
not sure if she's a
like
drug
I
addict
think
or not.
I know, but
My first crush was my.
By the way, the question wasn't
What would-
what's your first
yeah.
crush.
No, what you say to your first crush?
So maybe I would
What have
tell him
thought-
that
yeah,
I
what
would
would you
tell
tell
him.
him?
I would tell him
You get strawberries.
I'd say sorry I didn't go to the Strawberry Festival with you.
Yeah.
But I almost got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
bigger
I
than
thought
that.
the question. I'm sorry. I thought the
What would
question
you
was,
tell your
What would
first
you tell
crush?
your first crush? You had a date with them right now.
But I'm not upset that I didn't go to the Strawberry Festival with him.
Oh my God! I thought it was. What would you order at brunch? That's why I said it
With
was
your first
dumb.
crush.
If you went out to brunch with your first crush, what would you talk about?
What would you talk
Yeah.
I didn't
about?
hear that.
But what
Yeah.
would you order? No,
That's why I was like, you'd get strawberries, and you were like, what?
like sure, I'll bring him
It's all
Good
coming
acting.
together.
Well, that's the thing. Like, life has changed. My first crush, I think, was this boy named Jacob, and he was very much in love with my best friend, and so it just did not work out for me.
Oh.
I know, but I don't think we'd have anything to talk about.
He's still living in
No, he moved to somewhere else in the Midwest, and I think he works construction, and he has a family, and I just don't think we would have anything in common anymore.
You'd make him regret it.
Not even. I would just be like, hi, I just really liked you, and you liked my friend.
Wow.
It's like
Oh
really
my
sad.
And you crushed me.
And you
Yeah.
crushed my heart.
My first real crush was my friend Jessica. We did date for a day, and
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love
we
those.
are friends, and we would probably talk about boys.
Yeah.
That's how that works out. So.
That's funny. My first crush. My first crush was this guy named Kyle, and we were dating. We were dating until kindergarten when.
Oh, until kindergarten.
Yeah, because we went to preschool together.
Oh, wow.
And we started dating until kindergarten, first grade, and then he became really close with his friend named Brandon, and girls had cooties or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? I'll never forget this because Brandon, fuck him. He told me, he was like, I was like, what'd you do last summer? And he was like, last summer I went to the moon. And I remember going home to my parents and being like, this kid in my class, last summer he went to the moon. And my dad was like, listen, if a kid went to the moon, I would know about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't know about it. I promise you he went to the moon. And my dad was like, I promise you he didn't. So I would go to school and be like, you didn't go to the moon. And he'd be like, I did go to the moon. Anyways, this was the whole thing. I probably would get.
Young love is very confusing.
I probably would get lunch with Kyle and we would just catch up. I think he's like living in a sober house somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
He really is
You
having
got
a
him
life.
while he was good.
I mean, who knows? While we were both
Talk about peaking.
You're both
Talking
Yeah.
about peaking, he seemed to
He
peak
peaked
before
at 5,
kindergarten.
went to the moon,
had
and
a
then
rough-
now he has an addiction
he had a
problem.
rough life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well.
Wow.
Thoughts
So
and prayers.
thanks for bringing that up.
This reminds me of this question reminds me of that new Katy Perry song, "Small Talk."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Like something about how.
Sorry, I've not listened to that.
Woo, tough
I'm all
crowd.
about Normani motivation. Who watched that video this weekend?
Oh, I mean, the way that she does that with the basketball, I don't get it. Oh,
God, Lucas, stop
I just like how she
dancing.
just like dislocates one hip the whole time.
It's
like,
so incredible.
Well, anyways, the Katy Perry song was very relevant,
What
and
is
you might
Katy-
not be
what are the
listening
lyrics
to
to
it.
Katy Perry's new
I
song?
don't. It's basically like we were in love, and like we were like touching each other's
She's like,
bodies.
I
which you
licked
probably
the
weren't
pussy
doing.
because you told me to.
But, like, but then she's like, but now all we do is like small talk. Like when you see somebody you liked or you dated
that's
or like
sad.
you were in love with, and now you like see them and you're like, hi.
hey,
I respect
what's
that.
up? How are you?
That's sad.
So now it's like we had these like little butterflies for Kyle and Mac and Jacob and Jessica,
Yeah.
and now we would be like,
Well, no, Jessica and I are still really good friends.
yeah,
This
okay.
worked out.
Me and Jacob aren't, but we could be.
No, I don't know. I don't know if that's in the cards for you.
No, I don't think so.
Well, guys, we all have that friend whose online self is not nearly as lovable as their real life self. A new HuffPost article dives into this dilemma, breaking down what to do when you adore your friend in real life but find them a little bit obnoxious online.
This is a hard one.
I'm also sad because like I think it's me. Like I think I am.
No, you're not that
friend.
bad online.
well,
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh.
Are you okay?
Oh, fine.
Get
you're
it together.
not, you're not that online, but I'm going to bring up something that you do, and we've talked about it in the past, but I'm not talking about you specifically.
Oh my God, I want to hear it.
Someone's in the hot seat.
I have something to say about all of you online.
Okay, let's do it. Let's
So
be
it's
honest.
so it's something that I do, but this is not
No,
about.
you remember when we were talking with another coworker about the workout posts?
Oh yeah.
And it's like every morning,
Yes.
I wake up and like first thing on her and like somebody else's, it's just like, I was at the gym. And it's like
Yeah.
every day.
You post that on your post or your story?
no my
Stories.
story. So yeah.
It's a lot.
And so yeah.
But you do you do that? Do you do that for you to like? So like, look, I
I did
Why
not
are
mean
you
to put
doing
you on the
that?
spot.
I'm happy.
I don't know why I'm doing it.
Well, we need to think about that.
But I do that. I do that when I go to the gym at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I just wanted to be full disclosure
And
that
other people are like, dude, I get on Instagram and you're up at fucking 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that is not 3 a.m. Like, sorry, I woke up an hour before you, sue me. But hey, I put it on there.
And look, you look amazing. Your skin is glowing. Your life is working for you. I didn't want to call you out, but
No. Well, we know somebody who does 2-a-days
and it's a lot.
and
This
puts it on.
segment is meant for calling people out.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
So
And that's why I
focus.
said, like, I think I'm that person. I actually have a friend who unfollowed me. Okay, he's one of my close friends' boyfriends. And so,
That's
like,
rude.
he doesn't,
Yeah.
he doesn't need to follow me.
It's
But,
not
like, we
nice.
are actual friends. And he was like, Carrie, love you.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You had to go.
You're that annoying.
Well, I would never unfollow
Wow.
you.
Would you rather be muted?
I would mute you.
Mute. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, mute any, like, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
Shannon
you gotta be
disagrees. Shannon would say, I want
She
to
says
argue
cut
her
them
point,
off.
would say, that's passive aggressive. I will just say to you, I don't want to follow you anymore.
No, Shannon has a whole thing with the
But
algorithm.
A, they don't know. B, like,
Mm-hmm.
I just think you can get yourself into like really complicated territory if you unfollow people. And I
Absolutely.
know that sounds really dramatic, but I'm
real.
really bad at like
It
cutting
is.
people off like that because say I want to unfollow Lucas. Okay?
Let's just say.
Let's just say.
I want to
That
follow
Lucas is
Lucas.
pissing
Just
me off.
imagine.
And like and then I bump into him on the street one day.
Yeah.
And then it's like something comes up where it's like, oh, I saw that trip you went on, Carrie. And I'm like, oh, okay. And what have you been up to, Lucas? I'm supposed to know this because Lucas has been posting
Oh,
about his
no.
Fire Island trip, whatever. And I sound like an asshole now. Also, it's like, oh, let's keep in touch. Like, DM me. And then I'm like,
Ooh. Yeah.
You could still DM. I just.
well, if somebody's not on public,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a problem.
Well, you know what? Then you don't need to be friends with them.
Well, I think when you unfollow someone, they're not really in your life anymore.
Yeah.
I follow people who I find maybe so annoying, but they're good friends of mine, and I deal with it, whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I have one friend who like floods the timeline. Like she'll
Mute
do like
them.
5 or 6 posts a day, and I just don't
no.
follow her. But we've talked about it.
Right.
You just,
I was like,
why
you
can't
just post
mute
too
her?
much. Because I don't know, because she's a good friend, and I was like, I don't follow you, and she's like,
She
it's
does
cool. I
5
post
or
a lot of
6
stuff.
Instagram, it's very
I
aggressive.
can't stand that.
What is she
The multiple
posting?
posts aggressive on Instagram. I think when someone, because you're out the way the algorithm, Instagram knows. I would get some people just would be my whole timeline of pictures,
That- of
pictures,
just
pictures,
them,
pictures. Yeah. So I do understand that Instagram, it's very
I
aggressive.
wish you could rank people.
Yes.
So like you know how obviously in your stories and stuff, like people's stories that you watch most
Yeah.
are the ones that come up first, but I wish I can go into the back
And choose?
and like actually be like 1, 2. You know what I
Right.
like chuck some of the people at the bottom who are like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna unfollow them, but like you don't need to feed me their stuff.
So wait, what else do you guys bugs you?
Well, no, there's just certain things people do on Instagram. You know, this isn't a bad thing, but what you did this weekend was
Oh.
interesting.
That was one time.
What?
No, it
Emotional
was an
post?
essay about her moving to New York.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I think once in a
With
while
a
that's fine.
slideshow, 10 years here.
Yeah.
7 paragraphs about it's like it's not.
So I find that in my stories, I'm usually posting like a thing at a time.
Yeah.
I have never.
By the way, I don't have a problem.
No, I
with
know.
that.
I have never told like a full story, but I actually, because I've been in New York for 10 years, I like did all these throwback photos, and I was like, this is the time I did this, and it was like maybe 7 Insta stories. So it wasn't to the point, you know, when you go to somebody's Insta story and there's like 25, and the little space is like that small.
Yeah,
and
they
you-
get
It
smaller and
wasn't there.
smaller.
Mine was like 7.
It was in
It
between.
was tasteful.
No. I also think it makes such a difference, like you're saying, like it didn't bother you because we like you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
There are
also
probably
matters if
people
you are
who are
alive.
like,
She doesn't do it every day.
yeah,
Yes, that's another
exactly.
thing
Let
as
me tell
well.
you, if she did that again this weekend, I don't know.
It'd be a
what would
problem.
happen.
Yeah, also,
We'd have to have a
you were having a moment. I think everyone is allowed to have a moment on
Yeah.
social media where they like they reminisce, they
Yeah.
talk about something. I love Brittany, so I was enjoying going back with her at a time I didn't know you.
I know.
And I was like, look at her drunk at 23.
I had a whole life before you
A whole
guys.
life
You
before
were
us.
drunk.
So I really actually enjoyed it. But sometimes I'm like, okay, get over yourself.
Like, you're done.
Yeah, but
It's
people do that a
interesting.
lot.
Everyone uses Instagram for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You know.
hard. Like,
Well, she was just saying the girl that posts 5 or 6 times posts art.
yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like,
Well-
there's the person that's gonna post 5 or 6 selfies, and then there's the one that like actually uses Instagram for its former intended purpose
Right.
of
Pictures,
like
pictures.
pictures
Well,
and
actually,
pretty things.
I in the past like 10 months have almost exclusively posted comedy content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually am like kind of self-conscious of that because the people who follow me have expanded to the people who follow me for comedy. But like the initial like 200 like friends,
Right.
I'm like, oh, I feel bad for you guys. You're on
But
this comedy.
that's where
And I
hard
would
to
ask you
balance.
this, do you feel hard now whenever you try to, because you post, your Instagram is mostly your Twitter, your tweets, which
Yeah.
are great and they blow up. But do you feel self-conscious now when you go back and do like, this is a cute picture of me, or this is me
Yeah,
with,
I'm aware of
my
it. Because I
girlfriend?
feel like I lose followers when I post like a normal photo.
Because you're becoming almost like one of those comedy accounts. Like if people follow for the just comedy content. Are you gonna have an Instagram?
And then you're like, this is my life, and they're like,
we don't care.
But that's what's
be
hard.
funny, lady. Yeah.
Because I tried my Instagram, like I definitely don't have as many followers as I could because I try to do a balanced approach where it's like some work, some personal life. That's important for me for people to see that balance. But like I do interviews here every day. I could post like probably 2 posts a day with the people I've talked to.
You should do that.
I don't do that though because I feel
I
like that
noticed
would
you
be a lot for the
It's a
people
lot for
following
your
me.
friends, but do you want your friends?
Yeah, I kind of do want my Instagram to be a mix.
Or do you want
popular?
followers?
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone to the dark side a lot. Why?
What could you post? More titty pictures?
Yeah, more titty pictures every day.
That's what gets likes though.
My most popular pictures are not my political posts about how much I like want to support women's rights to choose. It's my titty pictures. Like that's what people like.
You post so many of them. It feels like
I feel like they are.
Feels that to you, but not.
I
to,
feel like you could be posting more. Like
Yeah.
I understand that you are pulling
you
it back.
could be posting more. You should not.
guys,
I
we
don't- I
literally
agree.
all
That's
like
not
each
who I
other,
am.
so we're like telling each other to post more.
Yeah.
But there are definitely people out there that are like, shut the
Stop.
fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
Stop
shut it
posting.
down.
right.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think now I'm in the routine of I try to post once or twice a week, and it's always a balance of work and social life.
Yeah.
And for me, that makes me feel good and like genuine about my social presence.
Yeah.
But it's not something that's gonna get me more followers. It's not
Right.
like a strategy for that.
But I think it's also Instagram specific. Don't you think Twitter is all about how much you post, like the quality of? It's like
Well,
quantity over quality.
I don't think so. I just think that the lifespan of a tweet is so short.
Yeah.
Like your Twitter lifespan is like 4 minutes, so that like it expires. Whereas
Right.
Instagram, you have a longer lifespan on a post.
Oh, that's very smart. I agree with that.
yeah.
You guys, happy posting. That's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table.
I feel like we're-